So there's a story in 2 Kings chapter 6. The king of Israel and the king of Aram are at war with each other. The king of Aram is leading raids into Israelite territory, and he's working with his trusted advisors trying to catch the king of Israel off guard. So he's setting ambushes here, he's planting traps there, but the thing is, it's as if the king of Israel is always at least one step ahead of him. He can't seem to get the better of him. Well, as it turns out, he actually is. That is to say, the king of Israel is one step ahead of the king of Aram. The prophet Elisha is sending word to him and letting him know, hey, don't go this way, don't go that way, avoid this territory because the king of Aram is waiting for you. It gets so bad, the king of Aram gets so annoyed that he's with his trusted advisors and he says, which one of us is for the king of Israel? In other words, which one of us is a traitor? Which one of you is taking our plans and selling them to the Israelites? And of course, all of them swear their innocence. And one of the advisors says to him, haven't you heard about the prophet Elisha? This guy, he's apparently able to tell the Israelites what you are saying in your bedroom, in the privacy of your own bedroom, your thoughts. The prophet Elisha is able to recite this. He knows it somehow. So of course, he knows our plans. Well, the king of Aram doesn't like this, and so he says, let's get this prophet Elisha. So they do a little digging, and they find him holed up in the town of Dothan. So he sends chariots and horses and a great army, and in the middle of the night, they surround the city of Dothan. Well, the next morning, they wake up, and there's a huge army around the city. It would have been hard to hide. The way the Bible describes it, Dothan's like in a valley surrounded by hills and mountains. So they can see around them these chariots, these horses, this army. So one of Elisha's servants comes to him and says, alas, my master, what are we going to do? And Elisha's just chilling. He's not worried at all. I mean, I picture him eating some eggs and sipping coffee. And he says to his servant, do not fear. Those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Do not fear. Those who are with us are more than those who are with them. And so he prays and he asks that God would open the eyes of the servant so that he can see what Elisha sees. And when God opens the servant's eyes, he sees surrounding Elisha an army of fiery chariots going up into the hills and the mountains. He is covered, the whole land is covered with these fiery chariots. It's amazing. It reminded me as I got to thinking about this passage, Ephesians chapter 6, verses 11 and 12, where we're warned by the Apostle Paul, or we're admonished by the Apostle Paul to put on the whole armor of God so that we can remain standing in the face of the devil's schemes. And he reminds us that our war is not against flesh and blood. It's against principalities, powers, cosmic forces of evil in the heavenly realms. And the thing of it is, I got to thinking about that, the devil's not the only one that's got principalities and powers and cosmic forces in the heavenly realms. There's good ones up there too that have been specifically tasked to look out for Christians, to look out for believers. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 14 says, are not all angels, every single one of them, ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation? Are not all angels, ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation, sent to serve saints, believers? They are ministering spirits tasked with helping us accomplish God's purposes on this earth. So I don't know what you're facing in your life, potentially a lot of things, but there is nothing that we need to be afraid of. We can be sipping coffee and chilling because those who are with us are more than those who are with them. I love the way this story wraps up. It's so cool. Obviously, the opposing army can't see all these angels, all this army that's got them outmatched. And so they charge at the town of Dothan to take Elisha, and Elisha prays that they'll be stricken with blindness, and of course they are. And so Elisha goes out to them and says, hey, you guys got the wrong town. He's speaking to their leadership. He says, you got the wrong town, you got the wrong place, you're looking for the wrong guy. He's not here. Let me take you to him. I know exactly where to find him. And of course, Elisha walks him right to the king of Israel, right into a trap, takes him right to the center of a frying pan so that they're sitting ducks, and he prays that their eyes will be opened so that they can see how messed over they are. We don't even get the reaction of these forces. We don't get to hear about their terror, their horror, their fear. All we get is the king of Israel looks at Elisha and says, shall I kill them? Shall I kill them? of course, it would be within their rights. I mean, these guys have been raiding the territory. They've been robbing from people, killing people. They've been doing stuff that you do at wartime, the bad stuff. But Elisha says no. He says, you're not going to kill them. And even more than that, you're going to feed them, you're going to give them something to drink, and you're going to send them back to their master. And with commendable humility, the king of Israel does, as Elisha says, he puts on, the Bible says, a great feast. He feeds these enemies, he gives them water, and he sends them on their way. And the story ends by saying that the bands of Aram never came into Israel again, something along those lines. They didn't raid Israelite territory anymore. The king of Israel, following the dictates of a prophet of God, literally killed his enemies with kindness. He made his enemies go away by giving them a great feast. The thing I love about this story is it's a picture of how God treats us. We are blind raiders, murderers, thieves, people that do terrible things, people who have terrible proclivities, the ability to do things if nobody's looking that are shameful. And we're right in the middle of a frying pan, we're sitting ducks, and God, instead of killing us, throws us a great feast. He invites us to drink living water. He invites us to become his kin, to become family and fellow heirs of his. And then he sends us on our way as ambassadors and diplomats to share the good news that, hey, he'll do the same thing for you. He'll feed you, he'll satisfy you in ways that this world never could. God gets rid of his enemies by making them friends and family. And believer, what I want to encourage you today, follow God's example. Kill your enemies with kindness. Make them your friends and your family. Love them to death.